And if you don't mind, Joyce can lead us in a word of prayer and blessing. Yes.
Tumshukuru Bwana Mwenyezi Mungu Baba, umeanza nasi, umetufikisha hapo, na tunakushukuru na kuliinua jina lako kwa jinsi ambavyo uliko mwema kwetu. Natazama Mungu Baba, tunaenda kwa meeting nyingine. Mungu Baba, naomba kwamba utuongoze katika hii meeting inakuja Mungu wetu, ili tuweze kuendeleza vizuri na pia kumaliza. Anza nasi hizo unavyomaliza nasi kwa hiyo mkutano wa kwanza, na uendeleze nasi Mungu Baba, na tutarudi kukutishia asante na kuliinua jina lako kwa jinsi ulivyomwona. Asante Baba, nakuomba tukiamini katika jina la Yesu Kristo aliye mkombozi wetu.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, so please just be a little patient. As the chair, I will try to be quick, and you want to apologize in advance in case I'm a bit quick with you when you want to express your questions. Thank you very much. The first item on the agenda is to confirm the quorum. All right. We can see from the people present that our quorum is more than 30% of the members. We also acknowledge the proxies. I presume they signed the proxy forms. So the next item is to read the notice convening the meeting. For that, I'll hand over to the company secretary.
Thank you, Chairman. Having been here at these meetings severally, I don't need introduction. May I read the notice, which is for Desmille Investments Ltd, notice of the extraordinary general meeting. Notice is hereby given that an extraordinary general meeting of the shareholders of Desmille Investments Ltd will be held at the Boma Inn, South Sea, Nairobi, on Saturday, 21st May, the year 2016, at 10 a.m. to discuss the following items of agenda. Agenda, to confirm the quorum, to read the notice convening the meeting, note the proxies, receive the chairman's report, receive and deliberate on proposed board charter, receive and confirm the establishment of the company's SACCO, Terraville SACCO Society Limited, and receive updates on Bintech Limited, and any other business, of course, for which notice had been given, and there was one here participation and contribution in general meetings by members in diaspora. That is the any other business which was notified in time. By order of the board, signed C.S. Gilbert O. Tieno, HCSC, Company Secretary. There is a note that a member entitled to attend and vote may appoint a proxy to attend and vote on his or her behalf. Such proxy need not be a member of the company, and to be valid, the proxy form hereby attached must be deposited at the company's offices not less than 48 hours before the appointed time of the meeting. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We'll move very, very quickly. We've already dealt with agenda item number 3, so we'll quickly move to agenda item number 4, which is to receive the chair's report. My dear investors, friends, brothers and sisters, good afternoon. It fills me with great joy to once again give an address as the chairman of the Mille Investments Ltd. I'm humbled by the onerous responsibility you have bestowed on me and my team to work towards the achievement of financial freedom for each and every member of this company. However, I sometimes wonder whether I'm here because it is a job no one wants, which is quite likely, or I'm the best for the job. I'm going to talk a little about a natural phenomenon far from our shores, all the way in the land of Donald Trump, and yes, also Barack Obama. Ranging all the way from southern Oregon to central California are vast forests of the coast redwoods. They are sometimes referred to as California redwoods. These trees are big. They last between 500 to 1,000 years, growing to a diameter of 12 to 16 feet, probably from here to beyond where Jennifer is sitting. Some coast redwoods have lasted more than 2,000 years and grown to a height of 350 feet. You may or may not know the height of the Kenyatta International Conference Center, but it is 345 feet. This means a man needs to stand on the top of KICC to reach the top leaves of a California redwood. There was a fire that ravaged the forest in 1926, and most of the trees still have dark marks dating back to that occurrence of 90 years ago. One of the best ways for you to know how small and insignificant you are is to sit under a California redwood and contemplate the length of your expected lifespan as compared to that of this massive creation. The redwoods have a major weakness though. They have very shallow roots. So they spread the roots to a distance of over 100 feet from their base. These roots are intertwined with the others into a fine and expansive mesh covering the whole forest. As a result, neither flood, hurricane, nor typhoon, nor any other tempest can bring down any of the trees, since it would require to bring the entire forest down. So they live on and grow from strength to strength. What can our company, the Mille Investments Ltd, as well as you and me, the individual members, learn from the California redwoods? So massive and awe-inspiring, but left alone, so weak and vulnerable. Number one, the value of numbers and the strength that comes from working together. We have been 70 paid-up members for the last 4 or so years. Can we recruit more members so that we become less of individual trees and more of a forest? Number two, the need for continuous growth and long-term planning for the future. When the redwood that has germinated in 2016 dies in 3016, where will the Mille be? Does that matter? What of 50 years from now or 100 years from now? How big do we need to be so that we can be noticed in the marketplace? Number three, the value of realizing how shallow our roots are and intertwining them with all the others so that we, the Desmille family, become one massive whole that neither natural nor man-made calamity can push around, intimidate, or destroy. In Philippians 4, verse 8, it says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about these things." The year 2016 is almost halfway gone, and we need to take stock before embarking on the second part of it with renewed vigor. During the annual general meeting of 2015, it was resolved that we would have an extraordinary general meeting to submit to the members for discussion and possible adoption a board charter or guidelines for the members of the board of directors. This was proposed in order to deal with the challenges of poor performance by some of the board members. The board is pleased to submit to the EGM the board guidelines for consideration. In your files, each of you has this document. It has many pages, so probably when the agenda item comes in, you'll be able to go through it. But I just notify you that it is there. We were also tasked with the responsibility of setting up a savings and credit cooperative society that would enable members to individually mobilize funds and borrow from this pool of resources whenever they have some financial need. We are pleased to present to you Terraville Savings and Credit Cooperative Society Limited, your very own organization that you can use to achieve whatever individual and collective goals that the investment company could not easily achieve. We encourage every member to join the circle and also invite friends, family and colleagues to help make this a vibrant and well-run society. We intend to have each member recommend at least 10 other members, so that by the end of the year, the society shall be between 500 and 1,000 members strong. So it's quite a challenge for all members. Please assist us in this. All hands are requested to be on deck for this initiative to succeed. So dear members, please do your best. With large numbers, we are sure to be successful. We also encourage you to start getting to know each other better, as you will need guarantors when applying for a loan, and you need to have developed a level of comfort with whoever you support. I now give a brief update on the other areas of our business. One is Bintech Limited. The smart school system is now completed and ready for distribution and used to automate all the manual processes in the schooling system. We have identified a project manager who has submitted a detailed plan ready for execution. I welcome every member to participate by studying the system, recommending to teachers or school heads as well as other education stakeholders. If each of us puts in a little effort, we will go a long way. Our sales team will keep all members in the loop as we start distribution so that they can give referrals, advice, and any other support to help this project achieve its intended objectives. The Mille Trading Limited. As earlier explained, the Mille Trading Limited has been established to actualize the thematic area of our strategic plan that focuses on export-import business. We have all the documentation ready so that we can provide supplies to selected companies and organizations. We once again want to appeal to our members to be on the lookout for any business opportunities that we can exploit through this fully owned subsidiary company. Feel free to call the administrator or myself with tips. Since our members are dispersed in all areas of the economy and even the globe, we are sure they can be a great resource. Members' committees. Our two committees have continued growing from strength to strength, and I want to thank all those who have spared their time to serve in them. You may not have been made abreast of all the work that is being done in the background, but I assure you there are some very dedicated members. We will continue encouraging these teams to help create the interface between the members and the board. The challenges we have so far encountered in 2016. It seems as if just the other day we were here at the 2015 EGM. That is the nature of time. For one who is very deeply engaged, time flies very fast. We have had a number of challenges this year and plan to deal with some of them so that we can move ahead more efficiently. I'll briefly mention each of the areas for your information and input. First one, the executive wing. As we are all aware, we are still operating with only one staff member. I must take this opportunity to sincerely appreciate the services of Roger Sobodi, who has worked very hard to ensure that the company is able to run and achieve the goals set. Indeed, Mr. Sobodi, though a fairly young person, has showed great maturity, dedication, and service beyond the call of duty. We are heavily indebted to him. The main reason why we have remained with this one staff member is that we had no income generating activities, and we felt that having a larger workforce would deplete the resources of the company too fast. We have to recruit additional staff to handle specific areas, particularly Bintech and Terraville. But as usual, we will exercise the greatest prudence so that shareholder value is enhanced. Engagement with the general membership. We recognize our membership as our greatest strength. The diversity and capabilities of the members in their individual capacities is amazing. We have, however, not been able to unleash the power of the entire 70 members pulling together and creating a coherent whole that works together for the good of the company. We will get a staff member to work closely with the membership committee to activate the membership and also engage in a membership drive. You, our members, are the greatest resource we have. You must be at the center of everything we do. The third item is the sale of land. At the last AGM, we indicated we wanted to sell our 222-acre parcel of land in Namanga. We have since done a valuation on the parcel, and the estimates of the land value is approximately 100 million shillings. We are still in the market looking for buyers, and we really appreciate our members' support in this exercise. We would like to sell the whole parcel or a substantial portion of it so that we can unlock the funds and use them for other investment options. Our ideal customer is a large institution such as a school, university, SACCO, or a development company that is able to afford a large parcel and use it for development. We request all members to refer to us any potential customers so that we can sell off the land and engage in other business ventures. There are also members who are really keen to get dividends, which can only be realized if we sell the land. In conclusion, your presence here shows that the dreams we had almost 6 years ago have not died. They are alive within the hearts and minds of every member. But if you are at all like me, you must be a little frustrated. You probably feel we are not moving fast enough. Maybe there are areas of investment we need to get into, or others we need to get out of. So it can get discouraging sometimes. But for the strong, which I believe each of our members is, frustration is a source of energy for refocusing and forging ahead with greater vigor. Learning from our failures and those of others in the market, we now need to rededicate ourselves to the initial ideas that brought together this group and forge ahead with renewed confidence. We need to attract more members so that we can mobilize even more resources. We need to be one big, strong, and awesome coast redwood forest, immovable, intertwined at the roots, ever growing and never falling. I want to leave you with the words of John F. Kennedy, US President, for only 3 years, but remembered and loved in death as he was loved in life. He served as the 35th President of the United States from January 1961 until his assassination in November 1963. Allow me, dear members, to quote from his inauguration speech of 20th January 1961, just as I did at the last AGM. In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man. Finally, whether you are a citizen of America or citizen of the world, ask of us here the same high standards of strength and sacrifice which we ask of you. With a good conscience, our only sure reward. With history, the final judge of our deeds, let us go forth to lead the land we love, asking his blessings and his help, but knowing that here on earth, God's work must truly be our own. In this time for all of us in the Desmille family to rededicate ourselves to the company, knowing that the work we do can have a great impact on our future, that of our children and our children's children. It can also be an instrument for changing the lives of all that we interact with, be they our employees, our customers, our suppliers, and our nation as a whole. This is the call we are making today, because without these high ideals, the work will not be worth doing. The risks will always blind us to the opportunities, and the challenges we face will not build our resolve, but break our spirit. So let us go forth to lead the company we love. asking His blessings and His help, but knowing that here on earth, God's work must truly be our own. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless the Mille Investments. Sarah, we are proposing that is adopted. Julia Salego, seconding. All right, thank you very much. I think we can now open the floor for discussion. Yes, carry on.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. I first of all want to appreciate the time and effort you take in preparing your address to respective AGMs that I've attended. I must commend you for that. I want to point out the Desmille Trading Limited as an area of focus for me. And I think going by what I've heard of your report, you do mention that all the Rocky site permits and licenses are in place. Okay, if I got that right. And if that be the case, then if you're focusing on export-import business, I would be happy to know what are the substantive plans that we have just to take it to the next level. Okay, because I think this is an opportunity for us to get things moving. The other key thing as well was with the biotech, which I believe we'll be discussing substantially later. I'll leave it there.
All right. I request that we have a number of questions and they are answered at a go so that we save time. Yes. I don't want to call you Mr. Kokogona. That would be a problem.
Don't worry. Actually, I noted you mentioned about the 222 acres sale, based on the last meeting. And you indicated the proposed value is 100 million, which upon computation is 450.
Yeah,
per acre. So at times you might get a client who would want to buy it as one person, and if maybe as a person who is acting as an agent, would there be a commission given to the person who goes sell? Yeah, because that would be, it would attract some interest for this thing to go if you want to go faster. So that when I go there, I'll be able to now say, okay, Desmille, we want to sell the 222 acres, and this is the value. Now, that's an important question to address.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a follow-up to the land issue. I wanted to find out whether the 450 is actually a good price, and also because the two parcels are in two different locations, is the price uniform for both locations?
In case we hear of anybody who wants to buy this land, why don't you advertise? Why don't you put it in the papers or in the internet? I think that might help to get a wider audience.
Apologies, I've never been able to go to where the parcel of land is. How far is it from the road?
Okay.
And is this the valuation, current valuation, or last year's valuation? Thank you.
Thank you very much, members. I'll deal with those questions. And now, the first question was to do with the Mille Trading Limited and whether we have any, and the person who asked the question is not here. All right, let me jump that so that I start from the back. The last question was asking about the distance from the road of our 222 acre parcel and whether that valuation is, how recent is that valuation? All right, the distance from the road is about 1.2 kilometers from the main road. It's an area just after Gatatwek. I'm sure you know the area. Gatatwek, is it called Gatatwek or Gatat? What? Gatatwek.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not sure of the Maasai pronunciation. It's a very difficult word. But that is the area, and it's about 1.2 kilometers from the main road. The easiest way to identify it is that there's that project which seems to have stalled, which is developing some houses on your right as you are heading towards Namanga, roughly 55 kilometers from Kajiado. So that's where the parcel is. About the valuation was done, we commissioned the valuer in December, the report came in January this year. All right, and okay. The next one, which is related to that, was asking about whether that price is for all the parcels of land or what. We have two parcels. One is 222 acres, the other one is 200 acres, out of which some members had 50 acres individually purchased but through the company. So in total, our holding is 422 acres. Now, this valuation of 100 million thereabouts is for the parcel that is 222 acres. There's another valuation for the other one, but I didn't bring it into the picture because we are keen to flog only this one and hold on to the other one. All right. Then the other question was to do with advertisements, whether we have advertised. We have advertised in some internet sites like OLX, but not for a sustained period. We have also advertised in the newspaper, but not a big advert, more or less classified section. But we, of course, each of those has a cost element. So our reasoning was that if actually it could be through our members, then it would cut down those costs. But we are not ruling out the possibility of advertising more aggressively. The next question had to do with whether there would be a commission for the seller. Now, if we appoint an agent to sell for us, obviously there would be a commission, but at the moment we have not appointed any agents. So that is something that can be discussed with the company management so that we agree on what terms that can be done. So if you have somebody who is a good agent who does that kind of work, we can have discussions with them. What happened with Desmille is that the first about 1 year, we were very aggressive and we did very good funds mobilization. After that, and partly that was because of the projects that we had, because we had the land to purchase, and so there was a lot of pressure to mobilize the funds. At the moment, the funds are not as much as we would like, so we prioritized BioNTech over DTL. Yes, we are still in the market. We are able to do the supplies and all the other things, but at the moment, the funds that we have are able to support not too much. So that's why we've not done very aggressive marketing for that line. However, with the members deciding that they are going to be contributing more funds, to be possible to do a more detailed plan and actually launch this company in a more meaningful way. I don't know whether that answers the questions. Anybody who asked? Are you satisfied? All right, silence is consent. Next set of questions.
Good afternoon. My name is Patricia Morgi, and this unfortunately is the first meeting I've ever made, so my apologies, I could not make previous meetings. My question is about the appeal you've made to members to recruit other members. If we were to recruit other members, on what terms? Like, if we tell them, how much is a share, how much would you have to pay, by when would you have to pay, some guidance would be helpful.
I'm waiting for another one. Is there? All right. Please.
Okay, my name is
I would like to chat to elaborate more on the smart school system and Binatech Limited, like the target market, is it for primary school, secondary school, and generally what is it all about?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that agreeable to the AGM? All right, thank you. Now, guidelines on membership recruitment. Thank you, Patricia, for that question. The challenge we've been dealing with as the management is how to value these shares or getting new members in such a way that is not prohibitive. As you have understood, most of our funds we put into land acquisition, and most of these funds were put in almost 5-6 years ago. As a result, current valuation will be about 5 times that value. So when you have members coming in, probably the best option we have is to have them come in at the same terms as we came in those many years ago. However, based on the valuation of the assets that we have, we can then split the shares that we have so that the number of shares that you have becomes higher and therefore doesn't give an undesirable advantage to those people who are coming in. I don't know whether that makes sense to you. All right, so that's how we would want to do it. So any new member that is coming in has to be prepared to mobilize a minimum of 500,000 shillings within a 1-year period. They can do it in installments, they can do it in whichever way, but then they will only be granted, given a certificate after they reach that threshold. And then, of course, the shares will not be valued by pari with the existing shares. They will have to be liquidated so that we have a fair arrangement for the existing members. I hope that covers it. Now, for Binatech Limited, I know why Patricia is having it difficult. Zipper. Oh. No, Marianne, sorry. Why I think Marianne is asking that is because she's missed several meetings, so that's why it's she doesn't know what it's about. Basically, it's a school management system that enables you to digitize all the information in the school and use it in making decisions and communicating with all the stakeholders. Roughly, that's how it goes. It's targeted at primary schools and secondary schools. It's possible for it to be customized to be used for even other colleges and other institutions, but the primary target is primary schools and secondary schools, both public and private. That, I think, basically answers your question. All right? Thank you very much. And if you allow me, then I'll proceed to the next agenda item, which is the board charter. Now, it's a long document, and we are short of time. Now, we have requested those who came fairly early to read through it and be conversant with it. I hope that many have, but for the purpose of efficiency, I would suggest that we don't actually read it often. It is 7 pages, but we just go directly to questions or issues that may be raised about the board governance guidelines or the board charter. So I take it to the floor again. Any questions, suggestions, criticisms on the board charter? Seconded, Mary.
We need to know. Okay, I need to know how whether you borrowed this from other investment funds and so on, or it came from somebody had. I need to know. I need to know how this was prepared.
Okay. So the first thing is that I don't want to appear flippant, But I guess that it's more important to know whether it applies to us and whether it's valuable than what source it came from. However, we can tell you that it came from various sources of similar organizations that have board charters, and based on that we went through it and tailored it and customized it to our needs specifically. I hope that answers the question, does it?
Yeah, because you see, what I'm saying, point out to my people, if you borrowed it from other investment groups and so on, it's something that actually has been used and it's workable. As opposed to if somebody just tells it from his head. You know what I mean?
What I mean by being flippant, I don't want to be seen to be, belittling what a member's concerns are. Now, the point I was also trying to I agree with you to some extent. So if that was your concern, yes, it's based on documents that are in use, and it was tailored to the specific needs that we have. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. And I think just building up on what has been discussed, first of all, I do appreciate that this has come to be, because at the last AGM it was discussed, and it was one of the things that we thought would help us and help the governance of Desmille. So for me, it's the right step to take. The issue that I have with this is that if the plan now is to take us systematically through discussing it, which would be fine, but that will take forever, I need more time to go through this. And this is all about governance. This to me is absolutely important. Okay, I think we'll be, I have not seen it, I'm just saying it now, really. So I need more time to go through it, so that I can come up with issues and comments which I believe will make sense. So that's the only issue that I have, and perhaps I might need some bit of guidance as to how such kind of issues come up in such kind of discussions. Would we need to get this in advance, and then we discuss, and then if there are any issues, then we can raise them.
All right, thank you for that comment. I think it's a valid comment and a valid concern. My expectation, my own expectation was that we would have had enough time to probably even read through it, and based on the level of skill and intelligence that we have in this room, it would have been possible to go and identify the areas which are difficult and propose amendments. However, of course, the AGM is the final decision-making organ. As a board, we were asked to perform a task, and we've performed it. And during that particular meeting, this is what we were asked to do. If we had been asked to put it in advance, we certainly would have done that. But then now this is where we are, so we need to make a decision on how we move forward with that. The board is submitting this for your approval because during the last general meeting, we gave you the background of what the problem was. You told us to go and fix it using a board charter. We have brought to you a board charter that the board believes is valid and it is good. Now, it's your responsibility to decide whether you adopt it or you don't. No, because the board members have looked at it comprehensively and they've seen it for quite a while.
Oh, you didn't tell us that the board had looked at it.
No, that's additional information.
Right.
Well, all right, maybe that wasn't clear. I presume that it was clear because the board was given a task and the board has done the task and has submitted this for your approval.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. I think, Chair, for all purposes and intent, we are all working for the good of governments. Yes. That being the case, my concern is the sharing of information. Because if that were the case, then that is a totally different situation we are presenting. Okay? So what you're saying otherwise is, if I get it right, the board has already gone through this, has approved it. Yeah. So it is only put here if we have any additional comments. Or just for your information.
Absolutely. For your ratification. If not for your information, for your ratification.
Ratification.
Because the power lies with you. You gave us an assignment, we brought it back. So it's so it's you to approve it. But sorry, that wasn't clear. This is a document we've gone through within the board quite a while. Yeah, for quite a while. And even the members of the committee have been involved in it, not just the board members. Yes.
Okay. Now it's okay. Okay.
Yeah, Chair, sorry. Yes, I think just a short consultation I've had here. Yes, we could ratify it subject to make a comment thereafter. Would that be a possibility?
Absolutely, because even in the introduction, it provides for refinement. If you had even a glance at the document, it provides for its own refinement based on other challenges that come up. In fact, even if we pass it now, even if you read it and you found it perfect today, you don't know what will happen tomorrow. Something might come up that needs fixing, and then you'll have to do it again.
Can we call it conditional ratification?
Whatever arose by any other name smells just as sweet. So if it's a document the board can use to fix the problems it has, and the AGM has accepted it, we don't have a problem. Call it conditional, call it. But the problem we would have if it was not accepted by the AGM is that we can't use it. And if we can't use it, we are having a problem with certain members of the board, then we can't use that power to deal with these members of the board. And if we need to use it also to hire new members so that when they come in, they know what the expectations are, we still can't use it. So that's the position.
Maybe I would just like to add that it's not cast in stone. It is a working document, and you've gotten now a copy for yourself. If you haven't gotten, everybody has gotten a copy. And it would be good if you can go through it. If there are areas that you need to be amended or to be corrected, please, by all means, go ahead so that we can now table the same amendment and then write a final copy of the charter, please. Because it would be hard to try and discuss the whole of this document in a meeting like this. But if you take time, go through it, and get areas that need ratification or need changes, and then you bring them, or you bring them as matter of agenda in the next meeting, I'm sure we can, the board will be able to make the necessary changes.
Chairman, I want to request the members that we ratify this document, because the document is already prepared and it was requested by this same meeting. And since it is already here in place, it will help the board to move on. So, and as Jesus said, I was also just going to use the same words, that since nothing is cast on stones, there is always room for amendment. Yeah. And that, later on, as we find that we need to incorporate other issues or delete, that can be done. But meanwhile, I think it would be a good idea to actually ratify the document, because that is the role of this meeting today, which only comes once in a year. So if we call it, a tentative document, we call it, we say conditional, that will not help us. So for me, I would request that we ratify, and then we know very well that the board has the mandate to bring it back or to bring whatever amendment that will be required. So that is my opinion. Thank you.
Yes.
For the purpose of moving forward, I will treat that as a proposal that this be adopted and ratified by the board. So by the AGM. Shall we get a seconder? All right. And all these are from this side.
No, so. Yes, Charles.
Oh, Charles, yes. Charles Blute. All right. Charles Blute. Now, the next item on the agenda is number 6, to receive and confirm the establishment of the company SACCO, Terra Sacco Society Limited, I think this is something we've been through for quite a while. We can just say that this has been received and accepted and could be supported. As was clarified, these are two independent bodies, but they work together. All right? Now, number 7, to receive updates on Biotech Limited. This will be a little bit of an ambush, but I would like to request Paul to just give a quick update of where we are with that project, and then we can move on.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick one. I've been part of the team which has been helping the technical team as Biotech. And just a brief on where we have reached. Currently, the system has been developed. It is going through what we call user testing and get it ready for the market. So we have a project plan ready, and the project manager should be getting on board, I think, very soon. It hasn't been. I think it's just a matter of a few days before he gets on board. So the project manager is ready. We are assembling a technical team plus the marketing team plus a sales teams to be able to go out there and market the product and be able to demonstrate and sell to the prospective clients who are the screens. Yeah. So in the next few weeks, we have quite a number of activities set in terms of getting the teams together and getting out to the market, identifying schools which we can start with, and then from the first schools we are going to work with, then we can now go out to many other schools around. Yeah. So I think one thing that we will take from the members is we might come to you for any kind of professional help if you are a marketer. And if you are in a board for a school, we could come to you and ask to see how best we can get in and talk to the school and such things. So if we come to you, Biotech comes to you, please, we hope that because you are an interested party, yeah, at the end of the day we want to do this. Okay, so yeah, and yes, the project is detailed. We have targets have been set for the teams which are coming on board, the number of schools which we expect to be closed, and all that. So, yeah, there's a lot of activity taking place.
Thank you, Paul. Why I've asked Paul to do is that's his source of bread and butter. So he has been a very important resource in developing this because that's what he does for a living. All right. Thank you. Questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And first of all, congratulations to Paul and the technical team. Last month, I happened to have attended a school board meeting. And there was more or less a similar program where somebody was launching, or that was displaying to the meeting about the product they have come up with. And something came up about the approval from Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. I don't know whether that has been considered. And the other thing is about, as you're aware, there is the new curriculum that has been proposed, the change from 844 to 2643. Maybe it could be good to look at how to expand the scope so that you can attract diverse clientele. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right.
To sort it out here. Now, on the curriculum development, the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, what we are giving is an administrative application. It does not require KICD approval. When we had the last AGM, you asked that we make sure we've patented it and we own the rights for it. And that is what Paul may have forgotten to mention, we have done, because you wanted us to report to this meeting that that was done and we owned it. So we own it. And the other thing is that we do have, in part of our strategy on what we are doing is we are working closely with the Ministry of Education, the schools that have been rolled out, the pilot schools for the proof of concept for the laptop already have a lot of technology being deployed to them. Those are the schools we want to ride on. And as they are rolling out, what we are waiting for with the chairman is the exact date and time for the meeting with Dr. Matiangi, so that we can present our application for approval by the ministry. If we do that, at least we'll have gotten public schools on board, because I know one thing that Matiangi has said he's very keen on is he wants accountability of the schools and the funds that go to the schools. He wants to be sure the teachers are present and the students are present. Issues of absenteeism are really bothering him, and he has mentioned, from what I told him on the application, what the application can do, he says he thinks it's something that can work for him. What we have not done and what we've not sat down to do as a team is we've not looked at how the ministry can plug in to our application. But we first want to present it to Ministry of Education. If they approve on the public school side, we will have made up some headway. However, on the private schools, those are going to be knocking one by one, and there is your policy saying, if we know you are sitting on a board, we will definitely come to you and seek your assistance so that we can then try it out there. So our targets are to be able to have the system deployed in schools this term, at least have started on actual schools this term, and then get reports from them and work with them to improve it. Because so far the testing we've done has been by external parties who are not running schools per se. It has been by technical teams who develop applications. So we are yet to really try out in a live environment. So we are looking at this term as being part of the period we will use to do live testing and improvement of the application. And we are going to have it going on a continuous improvement basis, where then if we feel that there is a significant change, then we say, okay, this is now version XYZ, say version 3, version 2, whatever version is we're going to call it, if the changes are significant. If there are small changes that have to do with debugging of the software and a few tricks here and there to customize it for the schools, it will still remain the same version. But at the end of the day, by the time schools are closing this term, we should be having a report from our the marketing and sales team that we are bringing on board on which schools they have gone to, where we have deployed, and what the feedback is. I hope that helps to clarify.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Another question, very quickly.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, again, just like all the other members before me, I would like to thank the team for the brilliant work that put into the development of this software. My initial question was has been answered by Fiona, because I was going to basically ask if we could get to understand some of the features of the system that has been deployed. She clearly has articulated that it's more an administrative kind of software. I come from a school administration background, and my interest is the fact that even as we come up with this product, we must be cognizant of the fact that there's already a lot of software out there in schools currently being used, which may be off the shelf, or to be important even as we think of making an entry into the market, to find out what additional features would make our system stand out. And I know for a fact that one of the areas this team could look at as experts is to find out if they can leverage on the issue of security, and find what features are put to ensure that this feature can help in management of security issues in schools. That way, then you'll have an additional advantage that will help you to sell your product and do the market. Thank you.
All right. I was trying to get all this information. Part of it has already been answered. However, I want to point out that it would be fairly to make our meetings extremely long if we went into a lot of detail. So sometimes we try to just adjust the amount of information that we share so that we don't take too long. The information is there, and members are free at any time to request for it. It can be sent to you by email, and you can be able to go through it. You can be given access to the system itself so that you can go through it personally if you have the technical skills, but there's a limitation to the amount of information that you can share during a board meeting. It would beat the purpose of you giving somebody some work to do, and then they bring back that work to you for you to do during one day. So the board does as much as it can to try and make sure that things are correct, but due to time limitation, sometimes we may not be able to share all the information. Whatever additional information you require is available, so after the meeting, feel free to send an email and inquire. All right, the final one from Marie. Marie, yes.
I'll be very brief. I just would like to commend the team that has come up with the software. I think I'm saying this because I'm keen in education, but I just want to say that part of marketing this software and making it visible, consider when you do the launch, working with the media. And if you're short of how to approach the media, please could come in. Thank you.
Mine is a quick one. Have we done a pilot project in a school?
Yes, we have not done a live pilot. What we did at the initial development stage, we went to several schools and asked for feedback, and based on that feedback, adjusted the system appropriately. But a live test we're just about to begin. So at the moment, we've just been doing internal tests.
Okay, that's very important before we launch. Eh?
Yes, absolutely.
Very, very important. Thanks.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you very much. With your permission, I'll proceed to A or B. Time really is not on our side. There's a lot that we would have wanted to share with you, including the committees. They wanted to have a slot to get to update you on what they are doing. So A or B, that is agenda number 8, and this was raised by a member in the diaspora. His name is Duncan Boga, based in Qatar. And what he was asking is how members in the diaspora can contribute during general meetings. So that is the subject on the table. So those who are in the IT field or whoever else can suggest ways in which they can be involved more meaningfully during our general meetings.
I think based on that request, we need to start considering having internet connectivity during the meetings, because it's possible for them to be participate at whatever, regardless of whatever time zone they are in. If we can get a slot, there's some free platforms like Join Meeting, Skype, but Skype sometimes is not available in some parts of the world. It's now been blocked. But new applications such as Join Meeting are much more available, and anyone can download the application onto your phone or your tablet or your laptop and participate in the meeting, raise a hand, ask questions, and it allows for chat. But to do that, I think it would be good for everybody, even us in the room, to be online so that we are seeing what they are saying, and as we comment, we don't then repeat ourselves. So internet connectivity is what we need.
Right.
You can also ask maybe for this facility whether they have a conference, they have these staff rooms. Sometimes they can dial in.
Yes, they do, but I think it's horribly expensive. I think they charge 40,000 or something like that. It's horribly expensive.
We can get internet connectivity to our meetings for as low as 2,500. That will still be very good for a meeting, for them to come in and join us. Because it's just for a few hours. So we get a good bandwidth for a few hours and can talk to service providers.
All right, so that's one suggestion we can take from there. Are there other proposals and suggestions? The other thing, of course, you realize that today we have the meeting covered by video, so this will be shared with the people, all the members, so even those who didn't attend the meeting can see how things went about. After it's edited, it can be shared. That's one other way. And also using the smartphone, somehow when there's something silly or naughty, it goes around very fast. But when there's something serious like an EGM, somehow the smartphones are silent. So we probably need to use them in a positive way to keep our colleagues in the loop. All right. Are there any other suggestions on that? Because this member, I'm sure, will be waiting to look at the minutes and say, what was my suggestion considered? All right. But we would not like to encourage members now to be absent from the meeting because they can just join from their house in South Sea. All right. We still need to. All right. Oh, the minutes cannot be sent in advance because they record what has happened. The past minutes. No, that is shared with everybody. Oh yeah, okay, fine. One of the options. But you see the problem when they send their comments, it doesn't respond to real things. You see, like there's a discussion that comes during the meeting that expands on the agenda item. Though I think that's a valid suggestion, so that we can also include among the things that we do.
I'm worried, Mr. Chairman, about the few numbers that attend meetings, and I wanted to probably propose to the board that maybe they need to look into that and maybe find out why is it that people don't attend. Because if we are 70 plus in the Mille and you get about 20 or less, then you know that is a reason for concern that should be taken care of, and maybe the board needs to look at really some of the ways in which people could be enticed to come to the meetings. Because when we are here, if there are many people, I think many ideas will also come in. So probably, yeah, I think that's something that we need to consider. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, good people.
Hi.
This is my first time in the meeting.
Yes. You are the person who are talking about it.
Yeah, and the reason I've never come to the meeting is because I don't live in the country. So I know most of us the diaspora and don't live here, but I just happened. Actually, I came for the meeting. Let me be honest, it was the first time. So I'm sure we have many other people out there, and they're not able to come because they're out of the country or the diaspora. Otherwise, I wouldn't really, if I'm around and there's a meeting, I wouldn't really miss it. It's a great meeting, they're all great people. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I think there are also a big number of people who confirmed they will be coming for the meeting, and the Secretariat prepared documentation for them. All those files you are seeing at the back there are for people who confirmed they will be coming, and then they withdrew at the 11th hour. This is a challenge to all of us. We need to really consider our responsibility to this company because it's our company. It is wrong for us to expect that other people will be doing this work for us all the time. With that, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I will request a gentleman for a change to lead us in a word of prayer as we close.
For the launch of our circle. And we thank you, Lord, also for this special AGM that we've had. And dear Lord, for all the deliberations we've had here, we know that you're in our midst. And for all the plans that we have going forward, we ask you, Lord, to be with us and guide us. And dear Lord, for all our engagements that we do have after this meeting, bless us. There's lunch prepared for us, Lord. Guide us to the place. And Lord, be with us and bless the food that is going to be before us. And dear Lord, all our other engagements and all our loved ones that we left out there, be with us and nothing further. I ask all this believing and trusting in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen. Thank you.
The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ
And the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen.